last time. Here we go. Welcome everyone to the Freedom Family Call. Last week I was funny because I recorded it and I didn't know where I recorded it. I couldn't find it and freaked out, but then I found it, so we're all good. But I have a little more brain power tonight. So thank you guys for being here tonight. I'm really thankful for y'all taking the time on Thursdays to plug in. Just so you know, 30 minutes before this call every week, there is a coach Q&A. Now it's geared towards any questions you have, but every week we'll give a specific unit from the new coach training. So new coaches can come and ask questions, or coaches digging in can ask questions, or if you're revisiting a unit. And so I wanted to thank Samantha for stepping up tonight to help lead that. And then also twice a month, the second and fourth Thursday, right, Angie? Angie is going to lead a Q&A during the daytime. So that way, for anyone who can't hop on at night, or they maybe can't hop on at 8, she's going to post it in the team page. It'll be around lunchtime that she'll be hopping on to help you as well. So thank you for doing that. I want to shout out, we have some shout outs to do. So I was a little late to the game, but we have a Ruby coach in the house, which is exciting, with Megan. And then we have an Emerald coach in the house with Emily, and I want to try to start remembering those things, and I apologize in the past. I feel like I always kick the calls off, we just get going, and I feel like it's good to do a little recognition. If you haven't been in the team page and seen the announcements, there's quite a lot of bell ringing going on, which is cool, people saying yes. So make sure to check the announcements in the team page. I keep things pinned up there, so there's things like challenge group schedule, the team call speakers, the weekly focus video every week will be up there, just so that if you're wondering like what the heck is going on, like it's all up there to make easy access, because I know that we have a lot is being shared. I love all the stuff you guys are sharing. I have quite a few videos in there I want to check out, and it's been exciting to watch. If I'm missing any shout outs, please let me know, because if I am, type it in the chat, and I want to make sure to shout anybody out. But I'm excited to share tonight with you guys. So tonight I'm talking about all in is not all day, and I want to talk a little bit about what that means. So when I was a newer coach, and I guess I had been a coach about a year, I got invited to be on a retreat out in California at Summer Tucker's house, and there was about 26 people maybe that went, and it was the first time I had gone, left, I was pregnant with Xavier and traveled cross country, and I was super nervous, and I got there and I was surrounded by coaches like Carrie Legault and Kristen Sharp, and these coaches that I'm naming are like $1 million earning coaches now, and this is they were big, in my mind, the people I admired, and here I was hanging out with them for the weekend, and I was nervous, and how is this gonna, do I fit, do I belong, and can, and it was one of the best weekends ever, because what I learned when I was in the room with them was that the only difference really between us were a couple things. Number one, we just had different vision of what we wanted. Number two, we had different circumstances, but the thing we all had in common was a heart and a desire to build this business in the capacity we desired. And I remember one day, it was Carrie Legault, and she was sitting there and she said, I just realized that I can be all in this business, and it doesn't mean all day. And it was just a great, one of those nuggets that the other thing she said that I'll say tonight is, and in the meantime, you don't sacrifice your why for your why. So in this business, whether you're new or you've been at it for a while, you have a why for your business, and you have a why for your life. You have a reason for your health journey. You said yes to the fitness part of this for a reason, right? And then you said yes to coaching for a reason. And those two should align. But you should never sacrifice your self-care and your family and your beliefs for your business why. They should align. And that is where this whole, you can be all in, but you don't have to be all day. What all in looks like is what I'm going to talk about tonight. The timeline for all in, meaning how much time you spend on your business, that is up to you. You have goals for your business. If your business goal is to cover your costs, or to cover one of your bills, or to make an extra $250 to $500 a month, the amount of time you need to spend is much different than a person that wants to make $2,000 or more than that, or 6 figures, or replace a full-time income. But regardless, you still don't have to be on all day. The one thing that's really hard in our culture, and it's not just, I honestly thought maybe it was just with us because we do, we work a lot online with network marketing and networking, but it's really even my husband. Like, he's a principal, his phone goes off all night, all morning. He gets email after email. Like, sometimes the worst thing ever is coming downstairs and he's on his phone in the morning with his face, and I know he got some email about something. Some stuff he can't avoid. Like, we're going to probably have a snow delay tomorrow, and so that means he's got to be up for that. But some of it can. It's boundaries you have to set. And so I'm going to talk tonight about the 5 things that you need to be all in, and then I'm going to give you like 5 tips to not be all day. And I'm telling you part of this because I have fallen into all-day coaching versus all-in coaching, and my all-day coaching days are way less productive, way less focused, way more overwhelmed. And then my all-in coaching days are like way less time on my business, way more productive, way more peaceful, way more happy around my family. And so, and I've noticed that even with my husband and his job. So that's why I find this interesting. I feel like this is kind of like a life thing that goes across, because as much as I love social media, and it's a great gift and a tool to keep up with people and be a part of each other's lives, I don't think it's evil. I honestly think we have a responsibility as coaches to be a light on social media and to be a positive voice, especially this time of year with Lent, unless you're part of the mass exodus of people who gave it up for Lent. Like, I think it's good to be a light and to be an encourager so you can be that positive voice, but you also need time to recharge. So, okay. The 5 marks of an all-in coach. Number 1, you need to be all in with your journey. You need to have not perfect, but always progressing. This is key to your belief in inspiring others, and it's the foundation of your business. We can't help other people really do things if we're not doing them with them. And that's what I love. Like, when you position yourself as a coach, rather than saying like, I am your mentor, it's more like we're linking arms and doing this together, because I'm going to have days that I fall into a pan of brownies and you're going to have days, hopefully not on the same day, and we can help each other out, but you need to have a plan. So you got to be all in on your journey, working out, following whatever nutrition, if it's containers, if it's 2B, if it's Whole30, aligned with whatever works for you, drinking Shakeology, whatever supplements, like we talked about, Energize, the things you need for you. Because when you do that, it builds your belief, so that when we were talking a little bit about this before, when someone comes to you and you want to help them, you can recommend things to them because you know it works because it's working for you. And then you have progress photos to share, and they can be however you choose to share them. It could be, I've seen people share their progress in multiple ways. It doesn't always have to be, a before and after. Like, P.S. I love Sarah's, like, those are like the best ever. I think we should all do that from now on. Like her, like, and she's almost not trademarked it, but made it like for the next round. She's like, this is me looking at the me that hasn't happened yet. It's going to be in 6 weeks. And I loved that, but I've shared photos of like me with my 5 kids versus me with my 7. There's a difference, like in my face and the way I feel. And that's because I'm all in this journey. Right now, my doctor told me 2 weeks ago, I cannot work out to anything that gets my heart rate up. And I had to really think, because I have some adrenal issues that I'm trying to heal. But I can still be all in my journey. I am sharing so much about nutrition right now and 2B mindset. I'm going to go live and start talking about what happens when you can't exercise, but you want to be healthy. What happens when I'm going to use this season to be all in. If you're postpartum, if you're pregnant, you can still be all in. It doesn't mean you have to be Shanti Insanity or Peanutty X or whatever. It's your version of but that's number 1. Because if you're struggling with belief and you're struggling with your business and you're struggling with focus, a lot of times it links back to we feel like we're kind of fraudulent because we're not taking care of ourselves. And so that would be the first place. Number 2, you need to be all in with your growth plan. I love that John C. Maxwell, who's one of my favorites, if I could adopt a grandfather, it would be him, says, like, what's your growth plan? Like, who do you need to be to reach your goals? That does not mean you need to change who you are. It just means what skills do you need to develop. So that might mean overcoming emotional eating struggles with reading personal development, negative mindset, impatience. Like I'm about to revisit the devotional Unglued because I've been getting unglued with my 3-year-old a lot lately. And that's part of my growth plan. I want to be a peaceful mom, and I'm struggling in that area. I'm challenged, but you need to have a personal development plan. If you want to grow this business, Bob Heilig, Build to Last, Famous in Heaven and at Home. I mean, you need a book recommendation. I have a whole library. You need to have a growth plan that's helping you become the person, yes, Sarah, to reach your goals. Like, you need to develop yourself in the areas you need. Because then when the mean girl comes in and says, well, look, you're not going to be able to build this business because you blah, blah, blah. You can be like, no, that's part of my growth plan. Like, you talk back to her. I mean, that's just, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't become the person who, like, I guess a big aha for me lately is I used to say all the time, when I would lose my temper with my almost 4-year-old, I'm a bad mom. And I'm like, I am a good mom who's having a really rough day. That was a big shift for me. It was part of my growth plan. And that's part of this business, because you're going to help if that's your area, you can help other women through developing it. You're going to help your family. So you need to be all in on that, which means personal development, choosing what you're going to read, what you're going to listen to. And if you need recommendations of what, we've got a whole lot in the team. You can ask for recommendations. Number 3, you need to be all in your challenge groups and in our team culture. That is not, I'm going to get to the all day part later, but what does that look like? Well, you need to show up every day and post your stuff. You need to cheer the coach who posted that morning and comment on that post. And then you need to go love your challengers. 10 minutes. If there's a tracker in your group, you need to fill it out. That's actually part of number 1, but it's also showing up for the people who said yes to you and making a habit of showing up. So when people say yes to you, it's not all of a sudden like, oh, now I got to start showing up in my challenge groups. What does showing up in the team mean? Coming to our calls or listening to them if you can't, coming to the Q&A if you need it, coming to Summit, coming to retreat, going to Narrow in the fall, picking events that you're able to go to get surrounded, popping in the team page at least once a day, if not every other day, just to see what's going on, because coaches are sharing their journey, and we can encourage one another there and help one another out. But you need to be committed to that. Being part of that community is key. It's part of, it's the secret sauce, and if we isolate ourselves, then we start to we need to have that to lean on one another and fill one another up. Number 4, all in with your power hour. Whenever you choose to work your business, what does that mean? All in with your power hour means being consistent. So 5 days a week or half hour, whatever you choose. It needs to be focused. So you should use some kind of tracker, whether it's the tracker in the team or you print off a tracker. The tracker helps you to be consistent and focused. It needs to be messy. What does that mean? You just got to take action and send a bad invite occasionally and follow up the wrong way and forget to message somebody back and stop worrying about being perfect. Because that's, I love voice messenger on Facebook, because if you worry that you messed up with someone and you voice message them back, you actually have the ability to help someone that maybe has had a bad experience with someone in the past heal. And them to hear your voice. And what I mean by messy is, like, don't worry about your tracker being perfect. Don't worry about everything always being color coded and pretty, but just like, cause that's me. I mean, I want it all to be like, I would like create a new binder every month if I didn't like get over it. But it's okay to be messy. It's okay to scribble down, but you want to just take action. You want to commit to show up on the days you don't feel like it, because someone that day might need to hear from you. And that's what I've had to start learning. It's not when I don't work my business, instead of thinking, if I don't show up, oh, I'm not going to get, I'm never going to reach my goals. No, if I don't show up, I might miss a conversation I need to have today with somebody. And that gets me to want to show up on the days that I don't feel like it, y'all. Like, we had a really great cathedral builder webinar today. And then afterwards, all whatever hit the fan in my house, and it was like a rough afternoon. And there was a lot of me that wanted to be like, I can't do the call. I can't do that. Like, I got to come to the call, So Courtney sent me out to the grocery store to get out of the house and cool off. And I was like doing the emergency checklist stuff and working through it. And I'm here because I'm not going to not come. You know what I'm saying? Because somebody I needed this tonight, and hopefully this is helping someone else too. So being all in your power hour is having those habits. The fifth thing is, and this all in with your goals and vision. Both feed in. When you set a goal, don't set it up as, I'm going to test this out and see if it works. Like, just go for it. You wouldn't, I would hope, sign up to run a 5K, get halfway there and be like, nah, and turn around and run back. Like, no, you might walk to the finish line. You might pause to catch your breath, get some water, whatever. You might have to slow your pace, but you still keep moving to the finish line. Half marathon, whatever you do. Like, you don't just abandon ship. Like, you keep going at the pace you're going. I'll never forget, my husband he did a half Ironman, which is 70.3 miles total. I can't remember the dividing up of everything, but he cramped on the swim, got out of the water, biked, got off the bike, tore his calf, ran half of the way, and then walked the rest, except for the last half mile he ran because we could see him and he didn't want us to not see him. And he finished, and then we went to the emergency room because his leg went numb. But my point is, he does not care. He finished. And I'm not saying you need to be injured and puking on the days you're working your power hour. But my point is, he set a goal, and he was so committed to that goal because his vision was to have his kids at the end of this finish line, which we were, watching him complete it. And he did it. And so that metaphorically speaking, he didn't do his best quote unquote time, but he didn't stop. He completed it. He did really well. He learned from it, and he went on to do another one later, which he didn't injure himself on. You know what I'm saying? And so my point is, don't just go for the goal. And part of what that looks like is having both feet in, not apologizing for your goal. You don't have to justify your goal. If you feel like it's what you're supposed to do and it's ethical, then do it. So how does that apply? Write it down every day. If you have a journal, if you prayer journal, write your goals down every day, and commit to the process of who you need to become, which is part of the growth plan. One of my good friends recommended, and I've been doing this, I write my goals every day, and then underneath it, I write affirmations of who I need to be to reach those goals. And it's all part of prayer time. And I ask, if I usually have 3 goals for the business that day or that week, and then 3 goals for my home, things I want to get done. And I'll ask, Lord, please help me to be a peaceful mom today with Xavier. Please help me to be patient with my kids when they get home in the afternoon. Please help me to not forget to make dinner and to be joyful during dinner time, if those are my goals. Lord, please help me have the courage to invite 10 people this week to my team. Help me to listen to their needs. I am a person who listens to people's needs, approaches them with this opportunity because I believe it can change their life. I'm committed to my goals. Now, have I always been that clear? No, I became clear because I started writing it down. And the more you write things down, you start to edit them, and it becomes more clear what you want and what you don't want. But if you don't commit to it, you can't get there as easily. You get kind of distracted. And what I like about it when you're all in with your goal and vision, which helps you being all in and not all day, is when you get asked to do things or you discern things, you can say, does this align with my goal? Does that extra group align with my goal? Do I need to do that? Does that align with my goal? You know what I'm saying? Does that program of an hour a day align with my goal right now? Or does the 20-minute a day program align with my goal? And sometimes it pushes you. Does Summit align with my goal? Oh, it does. So I got to figure out how to get there. It stretches you too. Does Narrow align with my goal? Yes. Does a team retreat. I want to go, but right now with these situations, it doesn't align. Like, it's okay. Sometimes you have to say yes to the things that are good to later say yes to things that are greater. You know what I mean? And so I did not mean for that to rhyme, but so use it as a way to discern. The last thing I would say, the bonus is, be all in to getting back up when you fall. I don't know who said it, but someone talked about failing often and failing forward. I don't know where that quote came from, but people watching you continue forward is inspiring. I mean, I watch you guys get back up and, yes, Angie, and things that align for one person might not be the same for the other, which is why your vision has to be and your goals have to be yours, not what mine are for you or anyone else's are. And it doesn't mean, and here's the other thing I'll say, they change from season to season, which is why every year we write goals and quarterly we evaluate them. And, but I think failing forward in this, like these 5 things, is part of the messy part, but that's how we learn. So how do you do this and not be in all day? Number 1, for your workout stuff, pick a plan. Print off the calendar of workouts. If you're doing a mashup, write them down in your planner so you know what workouts you're doing. That saves you the stress. Meal planning. Those, like picking a plan for your exercise and nutrition, is going to help save you time. 2, picking a book and a podcast and committing to something. I'm a chronic reader. I have 6 books I'm reading right now, y'all. And what I had to do is put a bunch of them down, and I'm literally just reading 2. One's spiritual and one's business. And I read the spiritual one first, and then if I have time, I read some of the business. But I have to have a little bit of a plan for my PD, or else I end up doing 20 things half. Number 3, set an office hour for your power hour and challenger check-in. This can be one time during the day you sit down for an hour. This could be twice a day where you sit down 30 minutes and 30 minutes, 45 minutes and 15. If you're doing a power half hour, because if you're doing the 2-2-2 recipe, you should be able to do that in 30 minutes. Then schedule a 15-minute check-in for challenge groups in the evening. And the reason I recommend that is because then that doesn't take away from your power hour focus time, but just schedule them. Like, I'm going to check in every day. I'm going to work from 7:30 to 8 in the morning before the kids are up. And then at 8 o'clock after they're in bed, I'm going to tell my husband I need 15 minutes real quick, and then you can take my phone from me. I'm done, unless it's team call night. Let's see. Set unplug times. So if you have lots of kiddos or little ones with schedules that are never the same from week to week, what I find is I try to get all of my work done by 2:30. So at 2:30, I'm unplugged until 7:45, 8 when I check in the group. And what I've actually done since then is I leave my phone in my office down in the basement on most days. We have a home phone that has no social media on it. That's like that way if my kids need me or Courtney needs me, I have a way to call people. And I had to do that. Partially it's like the family line, but it helped me with my discipline because this is very life-giving for me. So sometimes picking it up is not because but it wasn't making me productive. Now, does that mean I have to work from 8 in the morning till 2? No, but I set my hours. So like right now, Eli's nap moved. So I'm like a 12 to 2:30 because I work more at this point in my business, but that's kind of my work time. And in the morning, sometimes will do a social media post before they get up between 7:30 and 8. And in between then, like when I'm running around the house doing work and stuff in the house, I'm trying to get better about taking my phone and putting it down here because when I'm on social media after those times, I'm not working. I'm not working. And having unplugged time, what I find helps is when I sit down to work, I'm refreshed, don't feel frazzled. I didn't start 10 half conversations when I was like not really paying attention and then I got to catch up. I'm way more productive when I take the time to schedule unplugged hours, unplugged evening hours. Like Courtney knows Tuesday and Thursday nights I have available for calls. And then the other nights, unless there's something extra planned, we plan to not be on social media. And it's hard because we have bad habits right now we're trying to really focus on changing, but I'm not working. Does that make sense? And so I think it really helps, like having unplugged time on the weekends, like Saturday, like I try to get everything done by like 4 o'clock, turn my phone off and not turn it back on until Sunday afternoon. And then it's like, that's sometimes the most refreshing thing ever. And you know what I've learned is when I pick it up, the world didn't end. I didn't miss anything major. I don't have 8 million messages waiting for me like I think I'm going to. The person who said they were going to order still didn't. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I'm not frazzled. And like, this is stuff Courtney, like I said, is even having to do with his job at school. Like, I'm not going to check my emails. I'm not going to take, there's only certain people he takes phone calls from, like his boss, he'll take calls from, but father only calls if it's an emergency in the evening. You know what I mean? So, and then number 5 goes with number 4, but trust the quiet times for God to move. Sometimes I think we're so on this when we get nervous or excited, we don't give space for God to move in people's lives. You know what I mean? Like, I think we leave messages, we invite people, we share our story, and then we don't give time for it to actually resonate in their heart a little bit. I do think you need to schedule follow-ups and keep the relationship going, but I don't think you have to be on all day to do it. You don't have to be there to catch the message the minute it pops in your inbox. So if you have notifications turned on for Facebook or Instagram, turn them off. Turn them all off. Turn off the My Challenge Checker notifications. Turn them off. That you don't need it to ding. When I first got this new phone, every time some Instagram post went, I never was on Instagram that much, but it was popping up all the time. So I had to figure out, because I didn't know how, to turn the notifications off. But it's been peaceful because now I don't know until I go. The other thing I'll tell you that helped as my business grew to be all in but not all day was to have what I called a bonus hour once a week to tackle the things that I would think about that I would want to go grab my phone really quick to do. So you can have a notebook. I have a whiteboard in my office and I just write things on it. It's my bonus hour. And so Fridays when I have a girl, she comes to babysit while I work, a chunk of time, part of my time is doing the bonus hour stuff. The little things that are not super urgent, but they're swirling in your head. It's no different than when you go to bed and you're worried you're going to forget something at the grocery store, or you got to call to make the dentist appointment. It's the same with the business. Like you might think, oh, I want to call that person and see how she's doing, or, oh, I should follow up with this person, or, oh, I wanted to do this in the challenge group. Just write it down. And then when you go to work, you go to do it. You could do this in the notes section of your phone, wherever works for you. But having a bonus hour helped, because then those bonus things didn't take me out of phase 1, which is like the inviting, connecting, and following up part of my power hour. But they were put somewhere where I wouldn't forget them or neglect them because they're important. So if you are all in these things and you schedule your time, I want you to have that peace of mind that it's not all day, and what can be difficult sometimes is like, I get a lot of joy out of my time with y'all. Like I enjoy these calls. I used to be on every training call ever because I got a lot out of being around. I'm a learner. That's one of my strengths. And I love community. But what I've learned is that there have been seasons where I felt burnt out, and it wasn't because anything negative was going on. It was just because I needed to recharge, because I was like not really doing the stuff I needed to do for my business. I was just doing all the other stuff. And then I felt like I'm spending all this time on social media and I'm not making any progress. Well, no, it's because I wasn't being intentional and treating my business like a business. And so no matter where you are, like if you're in this business to be a discount coach, be all in with your fitness journey, your growth journey, and your goals in our challenge group, And then if you're in this as a hobby coach, be all in those areas and your power half hour. And as a business builder, your power hour. So you just pick whatever areas that you decided to join the community. But that's kind of how you can assess. So if you're starting to feel burned out, ask yourself, do I have unplugged time? Have I been working with a list? You know what I mean? Like, am I just squirreling around too much on social? So that way you can kind of set boundaries for yourself. But do y'all have any questions for me? that I can help with? Was this helpful? Hopefully. Okay. Any questions? No. Awesome. The last thing I'll tell you too is, as you grow in this business, for those of you that want to grow it to a like an income of a full-time, part-time, part of being all in and not all day is outsourcing and hiring help. Like, I have 2 assistants who help me. I now have a person that comes and helps me with some house stuff. And I'm like, even some other things I'm about to start when it comes time for events and things, I'm outsourcing just to help me not have to do it all myself. You know what I mean? Because that aligns with my goals. Like, I'd rather invest a little money in an assistant and spend less time creating all the shout out banners and everything you see. I do not make any of them. Like, that's the first thing. I don't. I pay someone. Because it takes up 2-3 hours a week that I could pay someone else to do it. She does an amazing job. She schedules all my challenge group posts for me. She helps me find content to send my challengers from the Beachbody blog, only because she can do it that well. And then I send the message. But my point is, if you start to feel like you need, or when you get to that place, I can help with that too. That's something I learned from Rebecca Bain and Summer Tucker. They both help me. That's why I hired someone to help clean my house. And right now I have someone helping me with laundry. Part of it too, because I just hate laundry. So that was kind of a gift to me. But that's part of how you can see coaches like Rebecca and Summer, who work 20 hours a week, but they make 6 figures or 7 figures. It's because they outsource a lot of the stuff so that they can just do the most important things for them. Yeah, laundry is not my life. I mean, it is my life, but not my favorite. Now that my husband's condoed everything, like, I don't fold it apparently properly, so I can't put it away. Because he's like, now I have to refold it because I'm like, oh my gosh, really? He was only that obsessed about keeping other things clean. All right, you guys. Well, I hope this helped you all. For those who, the Foundation Builder Tracker, I changed the name. It's no longer called Push, because and then I'm going to close with some prayer. And it was good to see y'all tonight. So Push, the reason why I don't say Push Builder anymore is the intention was pushing you out of your comfort zone. But I think sometimes pushing is it almost creates this sense of urgency that causes anxiousness of never measuring up. So the reason we changed it to the Foundation Builders, and then the leader group is called the Cathedral Builders, is because what I just want that tracker to do is help you create a habit of doing the things every day that lay a foundation for your business. It's just to give you a strong foundation. And the Cathedral Builders is to give you layers of bricks, because you're starting to raise up leaders in your team. And I was thinking of Nehemiah and the passage with Nehemiah, and how when he was convicted of what God really wanted him to do, he would not come down from his mission. They could not, he's like, I'm building a wall and I'm not coming down. Like, you're not, you know what I mean? This is what I'm called to do. So when you go to do your power hour, my hope is that you have that, like, I'm going to lay one layer of brick and then I'm going to go. Or like Tracy Morrow, Maxwell talks about, I'm going to chop at the tree 5 times, done, go. You don't go try to cut a tree down in one day. And so that tracker is in the announcements too. And it's explained in the power hour unit how to kind of navigate the pieces of it, but y'all can always ask any questions you have to. So, all right, y'all. Well, that was good. I kept it kind of short-ish. Thank you for being here. I'm going to close this in prayer, and then I will just get the recording up. And for those listening to the recording, if you have any questions, you can post them in the team page. Heavenly Father, thank you so much for tonight. I'm just grateful that we have this opportunity to be together, Lord. I pray for our team as we continue to grow, God, that you would help us to stay rooted in you. Lord, I pray for our retreat that's coming up. I pray for our challenge groups right now and the ones that we will be running later this month. I pray for our challengers, Lord, that you've called us to serve, that you would help us to serve them well. Help us, Lord, to share our journey authentically. Help us to serve people in their journey and to have the courage to invite people to be a part of this mission. I pray for our team to grow. I pray for everyone to have confidence in their goals, and that you would help them, Lord, to give their all to what you've called them to with this business, and then give their all to their life, knowing that they're doing enough. I just pray against any spirit that says, you know, we're not enough, or I'm not enough, or it's never enough, or you didn't do it well. Like, Lord, you do all things well, and we rely on you. And Lord, I just pray that you would guide us, that you would walk with us, that you would send more workers to be a part of this team family so we could grow and be a light and really help make a difference. And I pray for everyone here and their goals, and for everyone's families and marriages and their adventures they have for this month, Lord. I just pray that you would just bless us as a family, that we could grow closer to one another and support one another in life and in business. And we offer all these things in your holy name. Amen. All right, you guys, thank you. Y'all have an awesome night.